You have to what?
Just give one line.
You have to what?
They're between 14 and 16 years old. Social life is a dominant interest. Several groups or cliques. This boy's name is Rod Hunter, an unusually popular adolescent. He's a three-letter athlete, he's intelligent, and comes from a family with good income and high social prestige. Rod is the leader of the clique, which dominates the social life of the school. Here's Ben, a boy whose background could be described as lower class. But his exceptional talent, his intelligence, his determination, and his social know-how have all brought him almost total acceptance among the clique. Then there's the middle case, Suzie Summers. She belongs to the clique and has lots of friends. She doesn't enjoy quite the same popularity as Rod, perhaps because she is close rivals with her elder sister and lacks a sense of security. And the exception to the general rule, the voluntary isolate, Peter McGibbon, the boy who doesn't really want to get into the clique and is happy following his own pursuits. Our fringe case, Marion Ellsworth. She seems to qualify for acceptance by the clique, though somehow she hasn't quite made it. But let's watch these teenagers in action.
I don't know.
Hi, kid.
Hello,
Hi.
Janie. Sit down.
Oh, Susie, I can hardly wait till Saturday night. I got the cutest new dress to wear to your party. Oh, I just love it. What's it like? Oh, it's blue and it's got a ring.
Boy, the wheels are sure buzzing today. You think nothing ever happened around the school except what they do. We'll be hearing about that party for weeks.
Oh, you have to admit, hardly anything does happen except the things they run.
I'll be glad to get out of this school where one bunch runs everything.
What party are you talking about?
Don't tell me you haven't heard. Suzie Summers is giving a party Saturday night for the social set of our class.
I thought you'd be asked, Marion. You know Susie real well, and you live in the same street and everything.
We used to get together when we were in junior high, but I haven't seen her much lately.
Well, she'll probably ask you. I heard her asking Ben.
Maybe she won't ask Marion. I heard she was giving all the invitations out today. She must have asked just about everybody already.
Well, it's for sure that you and I won't be asked. Hey, Clara, listen, let's get some kids together Saturday night and, you know, go to a movie.
Gee, I wonder if Susie will ask me.
You haven't heard it? You mean to tell me that you haven't heard it?
No, I haven't heard it. Here, play it. It's really terrific, Susie. When do you hear it?
Excuse me, ladies. I have a special request.
Kids in that gang sure have a lot of fun. If Susie asked me to her party, maybe I could get into more of their doings. I bet she will ask me. After all, we used to be good friends. I wonder who she's asked. If she's asked Ben, she's sure to ask me. Her parents don't even know his parents. And he lives in that slummy part of town. Rod'll go for sure. He's terrific. I wish I knew how to be friendly like Susie. I wish I wasn't so shy. I never know what to talk about.
Oh, yikes, come on.
Are you coming, Marion?
I think I'll stay and finish my Coke.
Sure.
Bye, Marion.
Bye.
Hey, give me another dime, eh? Quick.
Oh, here, I've got one.
Marion, I didn't know you cared. Here, you sure you can afford a whole dime? Oh, what kind of dopey music's that?
I'm sorry, Nobody listens to that crummy band anymore.
Ben, you coming?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Oh, would you care to minuet?
Hi, Marion. Hi, Susie. I guess I goofed. Oh, don't mind them. Say, Marion, I want to ask you something. Some of the kids are coming over Saturday night.
Sue, if you want to ride home, you better hurry up. Dad's waiting for us outside.
Oh, gee, wait for me. I'll be right there. Oh, Marion, I'll call you tonight. Hi, Mother.
You're late today.
I was having a Coke with some of the gang.
The vegetables are done, dear. Would you mash them for me? Eric, I think it's time Danny went home. His mother will be wondering where he is.
What time is it, Mrs. Ellsworth?
Time to go home, Danny.
Mother, I was wondering whether I could have some of the gang over some night for a little while.
Marion, a bunch of teenagers with one of those noisy record players, and they'll want something to eat. Really, Marion, it's all I can do to keep the house clean and the family fed without parties for teenagers.
A lot of the kids have parties, and Suzie Summers is having a party this Saturday night, and she said she'd ask me. But if I don't have them over here once in a while, well, they'll think it funny, and they won't ask me to their parties.
Marion, it takes a big house and a lot of money to hold a party for a lot of teenagers.
It wouldn't have to be very many.
No, I'm afraid not, Marion. It's too much work and worry and money.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, son. Hello, dear. Hi, Marion. What's too much work and worry and money?
Oh, Marion has some idea about having a bunch of teenagers over some night. And I told her after a long day I haven't the strength to cope with all the food and everything.
It wouldn't be any trouble for you, Mother. I could make sandwiches.
And besides, it costs money to feed all those young people.
You don't seem to mind when Eric brings home all his friends. You feed them and you don't mind the work then.
Boys are a lot easier to cope with than girls. Some of those girls in your class, and you can bet they'd notice everything here and go right home and tell their families. Well, I'm not having those girls in here unless I can do things properly. Certainly won't entertain with just a few sandwiches. I'd have to bake and go to a lot of trouble.
Mother, you don't understand. The kids don't expect their mothers to go to a lot of trouble. They just want Cokes and stuff like that.
Evelyn, maybe Marion's got something there. Those kids don't want you to fuss. They like informality.
Mal, you're a man. You have no idea the work that goes into the simplest parties. You'd better wash up now. I'm ready to serve dinner. More pie, Marion?
No, thank you, Mother. I have to watch my weight.
What nonsense. The way you girls carry on about your weight. It's a wonder you have any energy at all. Here. I don't want you getting sickly and thin.
How are you getting along at school these days, Marion? I don't mean your schoolwork. I mean the social life.
Suzie Summers is having a party this Saturday, Dad. She all but invited me this afternoon, but she said she'd telephone me tonight.
That's wonderful. Sounds like a lot of fun. She's going to call tonight?
That's what she said.
It's no trouble for the Summers to entertain. They've got a big house.
Can I go now, Mom?
Yes, Eric, run along.
You haven't seen much of Suzie lately, have you? I used to think you two were great pals.
I know. I seem to have gotten out of touch with the gang somehow. Actually, I was kind of surprised when Suzie mentioned her party to me. But I guess she still feels we're friends.
Of course she does.
Mother, may I be excused? I have some homework to do.
Yes, but take your dishes to the sink and save me some work.
I'll call you when the phone rings.
Thanks, Dad.
More coffee, Mal?
Thanks. I hope to goodness Suzie Summers remembers to call. You know, Evelyn, it does seem that Marion's left out of the gang more and more lately. Maybe it'd do her some good to have a little party. Nothing elaborate. Say, about 6 or so. I know we haven't much space, but a few kids around for an evening couldn't be much trouble.
Mal, why are you getting so excited all of a sudden about Marion's social life? She's just a child.
She's nearly 16. She's almost a young woman. She ought to know how to talk to boys, be at ease when she's with people. I'm thinking it'd help her out, give her some background if She could have her friends here.
We seem to get along all right without entertaining everybody in town. Why do we suddenly have to start having all of Marion's friends in?
And that's another thing. Why don't we have some of our friends over once in a while? Seems to me that the only time we ever entertain is the family party at Christmas or when one of the relatives comes to town.
What's got into you, Mal?
Well, I'll tell you, Evelyn. I saw little Suzie Summers on the street the other day. You know, I haven't seen her for quite some time. Believe me, she's turned into a very lovely young lady. Well, frankly, I'd like to see our little girl looking more like that. Don't get me wrong, Marion's a wonderful kid. But she seems awfully quiet lately. I think she studies too much. I can remember kids like that back in school. And it seems to me they were always the ones who didn't seem quite to fit in with the others. I just want Marion to grow up so that she can make friends, that's all.
I suppose what you mean is you don't want her to grow up like me.
No. No, Evelyn, that isn't what I mean at all. I know you, and I understand you, and I like you just the way you are. But, well, you know you are shy, and some people don't appreciate you until they get to know you. Life would be easier for Marion if she could make friends faster.
I suppose you're right, Malcolm. To tell you the truth, I'm scared to have Marion's friends over here. Those girls are so poised and well-dressed. I can remember girls like that when I went to school. They always seemed to be sneering and giggling at me. I never knew how to act or what to say or how to dress.
Evelyn, I didn't mean to upset you like this. Have some more coffee.
No, thanks, Mal. I've had enough. It's different with boys. You give them a glass of milk and a piece of pie, and it's all the same to them.
Evelyn, I know how you feel,
Mal,
but Marion...
The most successful people weren't always the most popular kids. Remember Tom Davis back in the days at school? He was always on the fringe of things, the way you say Marion is. But he's the most popular and successful man in our class now.
Yes, I remember. But somewhere along the line, Tom learned to get along with other people or he wouldn't be the community leader he is today. I think all of us want to get along with other people. That's why I think Marion would be better off if she were in the gang.
All right, now. Maybe I could arrange a little party for her, but I'll need your help. I think I will have some more coffee.
Well, now all we have to worry about is whether Suzie Summers is going to call or not.
Now, where'd that extra man come from? Oh, gee, I almost forgot Marion Ellsworth. I didn't even think of her until I saw her this afternoon.
Susie, you're not going to invite her. Why, she doesn't even belong to your gang. Those queer clothes she wears.
I felt kind of sorry for her today.
If she doesn't smarten up, she's going to grow up to be just like her parents. You notice that Marion's mother and father never seem to get asked to any of the parties given by the grown-ups around here?
Oh, gee, I think it's mean that we should take it all out on Marion. Well, she can't help it if her parents are kind of unfriendly. She even said her parents won't let her have kids in the house.
I still say she'll spoil the party.
Well, it's my party, and I'll ask whoever I want. Marion and I used to be good friends in junior high. I feel as if I ought to ask her. After all, she just lives down the street.
You better make sure you haven't got too many on the list already. Mother said we only have room for 14.
Well, I haven't nearly that many. 2, 4... Wow, 17 already.
I'll have to take off 4, that's all. And you won't be able to invite Marion Ellsworth, that's for sure.
Well, I'm going down and ask Mother if we can't have a few more than 14.
Mother?
What is it, Marion?
Was that the phone?
No, dear, I'll call you.
If we play on Sunday, why don't we go over to the park? There's lots more room over there. Hey, Dopey, I'm expecting a phone call. It's time you were in bed anyway. Oh, keep your shirt on. That was just my sister.
It's for you, Malcolm. Marion? Marion,
Yes, Mother?
it's time to go to bed.
Yes, Mother.
The party that Marion wants to go to so desperately is not important in itself, but it is important as a symbol. Marion was rejected today, and the experience could influence her personality and development. If she felt accepted, and therefore assured, like Rod Hunter, the whole pattern of her life would be different. If she didn't care about social life, like Peter McGibbon, she wouldn't judge her own worth by an invitation to a party. If she had an attractive personality, like Ben and her family's help, she could be a successful social climber, maybe even get into the clique. The degree of social acceptance that each teenager experiences leaves its mark on his personality pattern. Lack of social acceptance can leave emotional scars. And that's why for Marion, today's rejection is important. She can do much herself. But is it not a job for parents, too?
Oh, boy. That one is so brutal. Hi, I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime 16mm streaming event. That film was Social Acceptability, and it's Canadian. I think it's made by Crawley Films, but was distributed in the United States. And I often show this as the last film in a series of films about how to be popular, because it kind of flies in the face of the other films, which is essentially that with this film, it doesn't matter how popular you are or what you do. If your parents are duds, then you're screwed. Is really just brutal. And of course, you know, the champion of this film is the kid with the glasses who just doesn't care, who just like goes to the counter, gets a magazine on ham radio, and then just leaves. He's like, I'm not dealing with any of these people. Every time I see him, I'm like, yay! But this is also that film. It's a thought. The film about the girl and fantasizing about the school dance, and it was made in like 1980 or something like that. And it's her sister says, "Count the noses." It's not about the clique, as they say in this film. It's about how many friends you got, and who cares if you're not one of the popular kids. Who cares? And I have to say that this is something to reiterate with school-age kids. Is like, it doesn't matter, man. Just be happy. Find your friends. Doesn't matter if they're popular or not. Just get through it. Because if you make it to college, totally different world. All right. So enough of that evangelizing about not caring whether you're popular or not. It's kind of like sour grapes. It's like, well, I wasn't popular. I was friends with popular kids, but, you know, they didn't affect me one way or the other. I kind of got over it. And started going towards hanging out with the freaks and the weird people and the punks in college. And they were far more fun to hang out with. All right, this next film is tells us about people who work in factories. Enjoy.
They do indeed.
Things like planes and shoes and television sets. All kinds of things.
Yes. Did you know that they also make things like cloth and clothing?
In a factory?
Right. Foods are prepared in a factory, too. A bakery is a sort of factory. And so is a dairy where they make ice cream. Just about everything we use is made in some kind of factory. You've probably seen many kinds of factories in different places. Each makes a different kind of goods.
What's it like being a factory worker?
Well, suppose we follow the people going into this factory and see.
What are they doing?
Punching in on a time clock. It makes a record of the hours they work.
Like when our teacher takes attendance.
Something like that.
Do many people work here?
Over 100.
What do they make here?
Well, let's watch and see. Factory workers begin, usually, with some sort of material, like this strip of steel, that they can shape into what they're making. Large machines are used by workers to change the shape of materials.
Pipe. It's a pipe factory.
No, pipe is just the beginning. Watch what these workers do with the pipe.
They're bending it.
Yes? Can you tell what they're bending it into?
I'm not sure.
Maybe you'll be able to tell later, after we've seen other parts workers make in this factory. This worker is cutting parts out of sheet metal with a very powerful machine. Wires attached to the man's gloves stop the machine from coming down when his hands are in the way.
So he doesn't get hurt.
That's right. Safety is very important in a factory. Can you tell what part he's making?
They look like wheels. Does everyone in the factory work at a machine?
Well, they don't all work at running machines. Some get machines ready so that others can use them. All factory work isn't done by machine, though. Many jobs can be done better. Many women work in factories. This woman is fitting spokes into the hubs of wheels. This woman attaches the spokes to the rims of wheels. Each worker does a different part of the job. It's called division of labor. The more they do, the more they get paid.
Hey, are those bike wheels?
They sure look like bike wheels, don't they?
They sure do, except they don't have any tires on them. What's he doing?
He's adjusting the spokes so the wheels run true. It takes a lot of skill.
What are all those sparks from?
Welding.
What's welding?
Well, welding is a way of joining pieces of metal together. Lots of things made in factories look like they're all one piece, but they're really made of separate pieces joined together with a welding machine. The machine makes the metal hot, so hot the metal melts. This welds the pieces into one part.
Are we going to see all the parts put together?
Yes, but now it's lunchtime.
Where are we now?
We're still in the factory. Many factories have places to eat, in the same building where people work. Of course, workers pay for the food themselves.
With money they make working in the factory.
Right. Looks like they're enjoying their lunch, and relaxing, too.
Now they have to go back to work.
That's right. Now, all the parts we saw being made earlier are brought to one place. Lots of factory workers have the job of moving things from one part of a factory to another.
These are parts of bicycles, aren't they?
They certainly are.
I knew it. Are they going to put them together now?
They certainly are, on an assembly line. Each worker has a different part to assemble, just as each of the other workers we saw had a different part to make. Each person helps in a different way. Division of labor once again.
So many bikes.
Yes, people and machines producing many things of one kind. Mass production, that's what it's called.
Where are the bikes going now?
For final checking. Most factories have people who check the things when they're finished, to be sure that they're working right before they're sent to the people who buy them.
How do they get to the stores?
Well, first they're put in boxes. Lots of factory workers have the job of packing things. Now they're loaded into trucks and railroad cars to be delivered to cities and towns all over the country. Enough bikes are made in this factory to fill many railroad cars and trucks. This is how the bikes get to stores.
Now the day's over.
Now the day's over.
They can go home now.
Yes, they can go home now.
Or maybe go shopping.
Or maybe go shopping.
Because they have money.
That's because they have money. They do have money. That's what they get for working in a factory.
People like these work in other factories, don't they?
Well, workers in other factories make different things, but their jobs are the same in certain ways.
You mean division of labor?
Yes.
In mass production, assembly lines, things like that.
Yes, that's what I mean.
I love assembly line footage. I know I've talked about it before, but all that, the Schwinn factory is awesome. I should say that we got a couple of boxes from a company, from a film that we just showed a couple of months ago called Movie Makers. I think they were based in Ohio. And somebody there who used to work there basically emptied out their closet and sent us all the films, and we've been scanning them, and so I'm going to try to get copies of them. But the first film that my assistant scanned was called Court Case, and it was a film about tennis balls, how they make tennis balls, and it is beautiful. It is stunningly beautiful. So in the probably next week, I will try to show that and show some of the other films that we got from them. Because they're really beautiful, stunning things. And it's a bunch of assembly line footage, so it makes me very happy. That film was black and white, even though it was in the 70s, and the problem was that when I transferred that, I didn't have the means to pull the color out and to balance the red, so we just bumped it to black and white as a quick and dirty way. So somebody mentioned that the film looked older than it was. So that was 1971. But I'm sure the technology to make Schwinn bikes hadn't advanced that much since probably the 50s. So it probably all seemed older. Speaking of the 70s, here are some more TV trailers for films that you have forgotten about or came out before you were born. These were movie trailers that were shown on television, so they're about a minute, 30 seconds long. So here, enjoy.
Hi, we're here in a sneak preview of my hilarious new comedy, The End. Hi, how's it going?
Unfair. The end is unfair to the dying. You think it's easy to keep a dying picket line moving? I'm going. What? Fever?
See the end, you'll die laughing.
It killed me.
Burt Reynolds in The End. Rated R.
Hi, I'm here at a new sneak preview of my comedy smash, The End. I'm just going to ask somebody how did you like the picture, The End, sir? Did you think there was any intrinsic message to the picture? How is it for the whole family? You found it amusing. Did you find it amusing? Well, thank you very much. Gee, I hope he liked it.
The End. Rated R.
I'm here at a sneak preview of my new comedy, The End. Now, some critics have accused us of being outrageous, distasteful, and sick. But I'd like to ask the man in the street what he thinks. Hey, how's it going?
I can't kick.
What'd you think of my new movie?
I didn't see it.
Don't you go to movies?
Oh, sure. I'll catch it at the drive-in.
Burt Reynolds in The End. Rated R.
An ancient terror sleeps in the Vargas house. Can anyone survive its awakening? The evil.
We're not going to get out!
They can scream. They can run. But they can't escape. Richard Crenna, Joanna Pettit, Victor Buono. The evil. Rated R.
I think he'll come back.
Halloween, the night he came home. Rated R.
Great shot, Mike. The way you're hitting them in this tournament, you're going to need a stockbroker.
I already have a stockbroker, Bache & Company. Keeps me relaxed.
For investment advice that's on the ball, visit your local Bache office.
Jesse Jones hot dogs and Royal Crown Cola, the fresher refresher, have brought you Carolina baseball. Your family will enjoy this top-flight refreshment team. Plan now for a cookout this evening. Go by your neighborhood grocery and pick up some Jesse Jones hot dogs and Royal Crown Cola.
People have been asking me what my new movie, Rabbit Test's about. It's about 90 minutes. Get it?
Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom?
It's also about the world's first pregnant man.
What? You're pregnant!
Go see it, I'm a mother.
Rabbit Test. It's inconceivably funny. Rated PG.
My film, Rabbit Test, is a very serious movie. It's about the world's first pregnant man.
What? You're pregnant!
You'll make medical history.
Joe forgot to take the pill. It's his own fault.
Rabbit Test. It's inconceivably funny. Rated PG.
Rabbit Test is a very serious film about a very important subject. The world's first pregnant man.
You'll make medical history.
Are you a fairy?
Me.
Time to cut it.
Rabbit Test, rated PG.
Oh, that's funny, Edgar. Please go see Rabbit Test. I'm a mother. I was in labor 108 days.
Starring a mother, a mother-in-law, a pastor, a doctor, a nurse, the President of the United States, a choking girl, a walking girl, and a girl, a TV host, the world's first pregnant man, and his gynecologist.
Time to cut it.
Rabbit Test, rated PG.
Rabbit Test is a very serious film about a very important subject. The world's first pregnant man. His girlfriend.
Nice talking to you.
His sensitive and understanding mother.
Are you a fairy?
His own pastor.
Jewish. Can I still go in?
Of course. Just don't pray.
And his friends.
May I go to the bathroom? Doggy?
Rabbit Test. It's rated PG.
I couldn't remember which the last trailer was. Yeah, there's some movies that we forget about. I'm fairly sure they're not available on Blu-ray, and you might not even be able to find them streaming. It's possible. I could be wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But yeah, that golden age of the 70s. This next film is from the 80s, or at least late 70s. I think it's 80s, though. It is very much, and this is one of the reasons I collect films, is, you know, this subject matter is fascinating, but the fact that filmmakers make films in certain cultural time periods, and they are trying to cash in on the interest of what is going on around that time, and they use what is happening in pop culture as a way to kind of get people, specifically kids, interested in whatever their subject is. And so this one is definitely related to that. I've shown dental hygiene films from different time periods that use different gimmicks to get their points across. This one is using dance, and it's specifically kind of referencing Flashdance, but also, you know, what was happening in the time with some breakdancing, which is really fascinating. And it has some great songs. So here's Flash That Smile. With some breakdancing, which is really fascinating. And it has some great songs. So here's Flash That Smile. With some breakdancing, which is really fascinating.
What happened to that letter of recommendation?
Yeah, yesterday. But she said she wanted to wait until after she'd seen my routine.
Well, when are you going to show her that?
Today.
Today? Whoa, pressure.
No kidding. I was up all last night working on some new steps just for her.
Listen, you got nothing to worry about. All you got to do is flash that smile and she'll love you.
I wish. You gonna go work out?
I'm going to go shoot some baskets with the guys, but you later?
Yes. Pressure always makes me hungry. Hey, Michael, look. I gotta go.
I'll pick you up.
Okay.
Anyone can be anything they want to be. All it takes is a little faith and a little care. Be number one, be a star. You can go oh so far. You can fly, touch the sky, go anywhere. You can be just as cool as you want to
Nice moves, Jen. Thanks. Great. You looked great out there, John. Thanks.
What are you doing?
Flossing my teeth.
Why?
Why are you putting on makeup?
To look good in case I happen to run into Richard Gere in the parking lot.
Well, I'm doing this to look good, too. You know how Daryl always says that a dancer projects her energy through her face?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't feel good about the way your teeth look, you won't be able to flash your smile on cue.
But why are you flossing on your teeth? You don't have food stuck between all your teeth, do you?
No, but that's not why I'm flossing. I'm flossing to keep my teeth and gums clean and healthy. Here, look.
Hey, that's my lipstick.
I know, I'm just going to borrow it for a second. Pretend that this is a tooth. It's covered with this invisible sticky stuff that dentists call plaque. It's just a fancy word for bacteria. Anyway, when you eat, the plaque uses sugars in food to make acid. Didn't know you were going to get a chemistry lecture, did you? This acid attacks the enamel in your teeth while you're eating, and for at least
the point.
Another 20 minutes after you're finished. After a lot of attacks, your tooth enamel breaks down and you get dental caries. You know, cavities?
Okay, I get it. Aren't you getting rid of plaque when you brush your teeth?
Yeah, you're getting rid of some of it, but a lot of decay starts in between your teeth and under your gums. Only floss can get at those places. Besides, you wouldn't want to get gingivitis, would you?
What? Is that kissing disease?
No, but you probably wouldn't want to kiss someone who had it.
Why not?
Because it means their mouth is infected, and they've got all kinds of bacteria and who knows what else growing in there.
Oh, gross!
I know.
How can you tell if someone's got that itis stuff?
Gingivitis? That's the scary part. Only your dentist can tell you for sure.
You mean you could have it and not even know?
Yeah, because it doesn't really hurt. Your gums might be a little sore, but that's about it.
There's no other way to tell?
Well, unless it gets bad and turns into periodontal disease, it's not easy. But one sign I do know about is blood on your toothbrush.
You mean if your gums bleed, that means you have the disease?
Do I look like a dentist? All I know is that if you let it get really bad, it'll become periodontal disease, and without treatment, your teeth may fall out. And even if it's only kind of bad, you get junk in your mouth that gives you bad breath.
Bad breath?
Yeah, and infected mouth smells. Probably tastes pretty bad, too.
So how do you get rid of it?
Only your dentist can help you get rid of it, but you can prevent it by brushing and flossing every day.
Every day? But that takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it takes some time. But so is putting on makeup. How much time do you spend with that?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, your mouth is just as important as the rest of your face. And besides, what makes you think Richard Gere or anyone else would want to kiss a scum mouth? Would you want to kiss a guy with one?
No, but wait a minute, who are you calling scum mouth? I use mouthwash.
Mouthwash? Mouthwash is like putting on perfume instead of taking a shower. Smells nice for a few minutes, but it's just covering up the problem.
Are any mouthwashes good?
Some are all right. You got new ones now that help keep your mouth clean by fighting plaque. Some have fluoride in them, too, but they're not enough. You still need to brush and floss. It's just like dancing, Susie. You've got to put some effort into it if you want to see results. You want some?
Sure, I just want to eat this candy bar.
A candy bar?
I get hungry after class.
Then have some of this.
Popcorn, thanks.
Weren't you listening when I was talking about how plaque and sugar decay your teeth?
And popcorn's okay?
Yeah, you gotta have something. Popcorn, nuts, sunflower seeds. There's a ton of things you can eat that aren't as bad. Speaking of eating, I better get going.
No joke. Gerald's gonna be too happy when she sees what you've done to her mirror. Come to think of it, I better get going too. I think I'll make an appointment with my dentist and have my mouth checked out.
Good. I'm glad my lecture wasn't for nothing. Hi.
Hi. How'd it go?
Pretty good. Thanks.
You deserved it.
Hey, Jen, how do you know so much about teeth anyways? Michael's brother's a dentist. Gosh, if he looks anything like him, I'll be spending a lot of time in the dental office.
And Jennifer's going to be spending a lot of time cleaning locker room mirrors.
Health is wealth. You can do it for yourself. All it takes is a little style, a little smile. It only takes a little while. If you want a happy smile, you can be just as cool as you want to be. A little love, a little care, you can do it anywhere. Set your mind, set your goals, set your soul free.
1984, Chicago. This film was definitely influenced by Flashdance. And again, that's why I collect these films, is that they are often a mirror of what they feel, the filmmaker feels is important and will engage their audience. So young girls who aspire to be dancers or to aspire to date blonde alpha males, floss your teeth. It's really kind of fascinating. So what time is it? Oh, okay. I haven't shown this film yet, and I've been wanting to. I should say real quick, thanks everybody for buying me coffee. Here's a way to reward AV Geeks by having coffee pumped into and caffeine pumped into our nervous systems to keep our brains electrified and magical. This next film is one of my favorites, and I haven't shown it, surprisingly, up to this point. I checked. This is Squeak the Squirrel, which is a film about how animals think, but is really about how Squeak represents the working person and how that working person will persevere in spite of the obstacles that the man puts in front of them. This is a call to unite and to take down the man, and in this case, a mysterious disembodied hand that comes in and does things. So here's Squeak the Squirrel. Power to the people and to
On that stump, is it a chipmunk? It looks like a chipmunk, all right, but it's really a squirrel, a golden-mantled ground squirrel. We call him that because of the golden fur around his neck and head. His name is Squeak, Squeak the Squirrel. When a squirrel whistles, others stop and listen. What do you think the whistles mean? All day long, Squeak looks for seeds and nuts. He eats some food where he finds it, and some he carries away to his nest in the ground. A squirrel doesn't like others around when he's eating it. He growls and chases them away. Let's see what Squeak does when he meets a squirrel that he's never seen before. We'll fool him with a mirror. Well, he thinks that squirrel in the mirror will run away, but he just sits and nibbles too. Say, what kind of a squirrel is this anyway? Looks like a squirrel, but he doesn't smell right, does he, Squeak? And he certainly doesn't feel right. Well, a squirrel like that's a waste of time, and Squeak has work to do. If you hold very still, a squirrel will come up and eat out of your hand. Watch how he shoves the nuts into pouches in his cheeks. Look at his long whiskers. Do you think they would tickle your hand? Being good to a squirrel makes him more friendly. Now, Squeak isn't afraid at all. He goes right after that food. If you tie the nut to a string, he grabs it. The more you pull, the harder he pulls. See how he bites off the shell to get at the nut? He knows how to get what he wants. A squirrel is a smart little animal, don't you think so? And when peanuts are hidden in a box, Squeak will poke his head in to get them. He shoves as many nuts as possible into his pouches. See how his cheeks bulge? And still he keeps getting more. His cheeks are so fat, he can't get his head into the smaller box. Have you ever seen anyone work so hard to get what he wants? Now, let's try something new. We found out that a squirrel will work for food, that he can use his paws to reach and pull, and that he can learn simple things like finding peanuts in a box. But can he learn something he hasn't tried before? Let's see how smart a squirrel really is. Here's a glass tube. We'll put some peanuts in one end of the tube. Squeak has been watching us. Do you think he can get the nuts? He goes right to the tube and uses his tongue to reach them. He sees that the best way to get the nuts is from the open end of the tube. But now his tongue isn't long enough to reach those that are left, so he sniffs and licks and scratches. He tries to push his face into the tube, but still he can't get the peanuts that he can see. Shall we help him? All right, let's tie a string to the nut. Do you think Squeak can learn to pull the string? There, he sees where the nut is, but he can't get it. Perhaps at the other end of the tube. No, that didn't work. He moves his nose back and forth under the nut. He even touches the string, but leaves without pulling it. Let's push the nut in a little farther and try again. He's beginning to get curious about that string. See him sniff at it? Watch now. He pulled the string. Was it luck? Well, we'll let him take the nut to his nest and then try it again. This time he faces the tube and pulls the string with his teeth and paws. Here's something that will show you just how well Squeak can learn a lesson. We'll push the peanut far into the tube with a stick. Watch how Squeak acts after he's practiced many, many times. He goes right to the string and pulls hand over hand. He certainly learned that lesson well, didn't he? Here's another test. We'll put a peanut on one end of the string and a stick on the other. We'll hang the two ends through a wire screen. This time, Squeak has to do more than pull the string. He has to pull the right end. Will he find the end with the nut? There must be something to eat around here someplace. Let's put another peanut on the string. Wrong again. He tries so hard that he makes the same mistake over and over. And then he turns to the right end of the string again. Let's change the peanut and the stick around. Will that mix him up? No. He's learned to pull the right end almost without looking. How do you think he does it? The more lessons he learns, the more he gets to eat. Isn't Squeak getting to be a fat little squirrel? Now for another new problem. We'll tie the peanut on the string and hang it so it's out of reach. This time the string is out of reach too. What do you think he'll do now? At first, when he sees the peanut, he reaches for it. He sniffs around and stretches for the nut again. He even holds on to the rod with one paw while he reaches. Now Squeak sees the string, but he catches his tail on it and is frightened away. We'll try again. Now watch him use one paw and his nose to pull the string. He learned how to work the problem in just 2 tries. Here's a different test. We'll hang the peanut out of the squirrel's reach. A string is tied to a box that can be pulled. Can you figure out what Squeak should do to get the nut? There. He got another nut to put away in his nest. Let's try this again. See how he runs back and forth and looks over the problem? He's learned that he can use a string to help him get something he wants. He didn't know how to use a string when he was living out in the woods, did he? Does it surprise you to find out how much an animal can learn? Uh-oh. That time he pulled the box so that it isn't quite under the nut.
That is, kids love this film. Adults love it too. I read in a journal called Educational Screen, there was an article about this film. And Lester Beck said basically he would get letters from classrooms that all talked about how much they love Squeak. And this was actually edited footage from experiments that he did about animals learning and how to learn new situations. Ultimately answers the question whether you can make a squirrel-proof bird feeder, and the answer is generally no. You have to work pretty hard to deal with squirrels because they're pretty resourceful, pretty smart. Lester Beck also did films on hypnotism, which you can find on archive.org in the Prelinger section. Supposedly an interesting guy. His papers, I think, are at University of Washington. And so this film was released by Churchill Wexler Films and David Wexler was his name. Anyways, the son of one of the filmmakers actually had Squeak as a pet. And supposedly there was more than one Squeak. There was a bunch of these squirrels. And they're actually squirrels. They're not chipmunks. They are, I think, gold-mantled squirrels. I've seen them in natural history museums. I saw one in Iowa City, and then one in the Northwest. Maybe it was in Portland or Seattle. So they aren't really chipmunks. They're probably related to chipmunks, but they're really considered squirrels for whatever reason. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'm very excited to have shown you Squeak, because Squeak has for a long time has been one of my favorites, and also show you Social Acceptability, because I've had that film since the beginning, when we got the first big batch of films for $500, and that was the film that I was like, oh, these films can be kind of evil and kind of, wow, this is packs some punches. And that was what kind of tickled my brain to make me think, like, there's more to these films than just, something to laugh at. There actually is some interesting cultural artifacts that can be found in here that kind of talk about what's going on at the time and what's important for teenagers at the time and things like that. Because we forget that, because we're constantly getting new teenagers and new things, and so it changes over time. Anyways, if you like what you saw, you can physically do something by clicking a like somewhere or subscribing somewhere on Facebook or YouTube. Somehow that gets me points. I don't know what that means, how that all works out, but somehow it adds up into some sort of account somewhere, and then I get a big payout of money at the end. No. But if you did want to throw some money AV Geeks way, you can buy some coffee here. We will drink it, or we will spend it on shipping of some films that we just got. You can also go to avgeeks.com and do stuff there. You can watch other films. I also realized the date is wrong. Wow, we're way off here. Sorry. Anyways, everybody have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And take care. Bye.